Hey there folks, and welcome to another Factorio mod spotlight. Thank you so much for joining me today. And in this one, we are covering the Lexus aircraft mod. So this is a pretty new mod, about a week old, and I don't know how I didn't see it last week, but it's a pretty cool aircraft mod. So there are some other aircraft mods. I think the main one is just like aircraft, is what it's called, I think. But this one adds some cool VTOL aircrafts. And we have three different kinds that it adds here. So from right to left here, we have the gunship, which is a basic kind of light combat airship. And then we have the cargo aircraft. And then we have the combat heavy ship. So really, I really like this one too. Just the look. I mean, I like all of them, but the look of this one and this one are really cool. I mean, honestly, they all look great. And then there is a mod, also obviously made by the same person, you can download that makes high-res sprites for these. So if you want to grab that too, I didn't for the spotlight, just because, you know, I want to show it just as it is. Even without the high-res mod, it looks really good. So let's walk through these really quick. And then I'll show them off, of course. So the gunship, which is just a light one, is still somewhat expensive. It is obviously the cheaper of them, and it is for, well, light combat. And then we have the cargo one, which is quite a bit more expensive and primarily cargo, although I do have a bit of a nitpick with it, which I'll touch on. And then the combat heavy craft, which is quite expensive. 200 LDS, 1,000 steel, 150 electric engines, 2 tanks, rocket launchers, red and blue circuits. But it is a pretty hefty combat vehicle for sure. So all of these have grids, and they all have trunks. The light combat one has a very small grid of a 10x4. So you can see I stuck some stuff in here just so we don't like get nuked by the biters, just to survive and just show off that there is in fact a grid. It has a mounted machine gun and a rocket launcher. I just put basic ammo in because I unlocked all tech, so my upgrades are pretty high. So I didn't want to get like too high up in the ammo quality. Otherwise, I'll just eliminate all biters like instantly. And then the cargo one, of course, also has a grid and a trunk. The trunk is bigger, and it also has logistics. So much like the Spidertron, you can request stuff to it from your logistics network, and then also it has a few trash slots here. And then I put in just a reactor, battery, and a roboport, and then some robots and some stuff, which I'll show you. Now, my main gripe with this, I mean, I love it. Like, don't get me wrong, this is awesome. My issue with this is I think for a cargo aircraft, the trunk should still be bigger. To be quite honest, I think it should be like at least 2 rows bigger, if not more, since the main purpose of this is combat, or sorry, not combat, cargo, and like building and transportation. I think it definitely should have a bigger trunk than this. Also because it has much more fuel slots, so it's like very much implied that you would be going long distances with this to, build stuff, and this is just nowhere near enough trunk space for that. So there's that. And then lastly, the combat heavy ship. So this has a very small trunk as well. Shouldn't really need that big of a one though. And then a pretty large grid, 10x8. So that's almost the size of a Power Mark II. The Power Mark II is 10x10. But I stuck 2 fusion reactors, 2 Mark II batteries, shield, and some laser defenses as well. Now, I do want to test putting in some exoskeletons. I didn't do it from the get-go because I wanted to show it off just normally, although it does show here that it works in these. So you could speed these up even, make them even faster with exoskeletons, although I get the feeling they're going to be quite quick. And then, of course, this one has a medium rocket launcher and a cannon. So you could shoot nukes from this. I put in some uranium shells and stuff. And these all are powered with the fuel type shown here. Okay, so let's get into this. I'm going to take this one out first. And we'll do that. All right, so just like any other vehicle. And so this is a really interesting, you can see, so all I'm doing when I hold A to turn left, it's like, I like how it flies. I really like the way this thing flies. It's a little weird to get used to, but it's, also the controls seem somewhat reversed, which is kind of driving me a little nuts. So this is, look at this, like, this is the guns, which is interesting. If we switch to rockets. Okay, so it's shooting the guns and the rockets. It's like switching between them. So if I just take out these rockets, you can see that's a little bit better. The rockets do look super cool, though. So you can see this thing is pretty powerful. Again, we do have all upgrades, though. The controls, I'm not sure I'm a fan of. They're kind of like inversed, or maybe I'm just really bad at flying this type of thing. But the controls, it's hard to explain, but if you play with this, you'll see what I mean. You may be able to change them, though. Oh, dear. Okay, so this guy has really long range. He's shooting the biters that are following us. This one, I don't really need to show off too much, aside from just showing that, you know, it does, of course, fly, and how quickly it flies. So this is basically the top speed right here, not super quick. So like right here, I'm holding, yeah, it's like these controls are kind of reversed. Because like with the other aircraft mods, if I were to hit S right now, I would just back up essentially. But with this one, when I hit S, it turns the thing around like counterclockwise and then does it this way. So, and then when I hit A, it goes back clockwise. It's a little bit confusing. But yeah, so let me just really quickly demonstrate just, I mean, you guys know how this works. It's, you know, it has robots and stuff. So just like Spiritron in your personal, you know, Roboport in your armor and stuff, this can build things. I don't think it had, I looked, it doesn't seem to have a remote. So you would have to like control this yourself, but still super useful. And then we'll get out of that. And lastly, we will go to this guy here. So we're going to stick that in there. So this is, I mean, it's kind of fast. It looked like 135 is where it topped at. If we stick some exoskeletons in here, you can see this is significantly faster. So exoskeletons do affect it. I'm going to take some out just so I can drive a little easier. And I actually have this set to, as you saw before, to shoot with me in it automatically. I'm going to take out the rockets just so we can demonstrate this. So I'm just going to fly over here and just kind of let it do its thing. And then, of course, I have the personal lasers, but... So yeah, this is super satisfying. I love this a lot. And controlling's a little bit weird, but overall, this thing is pretty awesome. Really, and you know, there's even more room if you want to just fill it full of lasers or shields or what have you. You can go that route. Now let's look at the tech here. So if we look at the tech, so we have the cargo planes. So the tech starts up here at robotics, and then you go to jet engine, which then gets you the cargo planes, and then also the heavy combat ship, and then the gunship tech actually comes after yellow science. So even the basic, well, I mean they all do, but even the basic gunship that I showed, the first one, you do, well, not, you don't have to have yellow science. Now I'm looking at this, you do have to have blue science, so at a minimum, and it's still fairly expensive, but it's pretty good. Even the lower quality one is quite good. So there we go, there's that. Lastly, we can take a look at the settings and see what we have to work with. So all of them are under your startup settings. You could turn the sound down if it's annoying. Sprite size you could change the max speed if you want to, of each of them. And then, okay, so you can actually change the inventory size of the cargo aircraft. So probably should have looked at these first. That by default, I think it should still be bigger, so I still have a bit of a complaint, but you can change this if you want, which if I were playing with this, I definitely would. And then actually, I do want to look in the controls, see if maybe there's a different controlling method for this, because I find it quite difficult to play with. I do not see any control options for this, so you're kind of stuck with it. Maybe I'm just bad at it. Let me know down in the comments, guys, if you try this, what you think of the controls. I find it a bit wonky, but other than that, I think it's fantastic. I really like this kind of take on the aircraft. Very cool. Link in the description, as always, to the mod portal page where you can find it. If you have any questions and thoughts and such, let me know down below. If I did miss anything, please let me know. I hope I didn't. But like if there's a remote or something I missed, please point it out. And if you enjoyed it, likes appreciated. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and feel free to subscribe to keep up with all future content. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.